Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Tea with Empress. Tonight we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We have gotten a topic request from one of our viewers, and that is what we're going to talk about tonight. So y'all sit back and enjoy tonight's episode. So I'm welcomed again by my beautiful co-host, Miss Shezille. Welcome, baby.
Hey, Empress. So what we talking tonight?
So we have a topic that was given to us by one of our viewers. It's a very sensitive topic, so we are going to keep their names anonymous because we do not want to really blow up anybody's spot, if you will. So the topic tonight is I really like them, but they have an STD. Right. So to just go into what this person said, they have been talking to somebody. You know, we all in this little talking stage. They've been talking to somebody and they found this person went and got their annual done. And they found out that they have an STD. And it's one of the STDs that is not typically cured, or they say that there's no cure for it. And our viewer is conflicted because they really, really like this person. They've been spending a lot of time with them and they don't want to look at them in a negative light, but they just don't know how to proceed because it's like they have this STD, which is a bad stigma. In my opinion, and we'll get to this later, in my opinion, I feel like a lot of things that are in your body can be cured or can be removed from your body holistically and naturally. So their significant other came back with, hey, this is what I have. They did not know they had this. And to be quite honest, the STD that they had was herpes. So it was HSV1 and HSV2, I think it's what it's called. But it generally means herpes. And we all know that herpes is non-curable, as most doctors say. And so our viewer is a little conflicted because they really, really like this person, but they don't know how they can proceed. Like they don't know, because with STDs, you have to, once you get into a marriage, once you get into a committed relationship, you are being very vulnerable, very open with somebody. You're no longer, or probably no longer, using protection when you are in these serious relationships. And their concern is their own health, which is granted. But at the same time, they don't want to lose somebody good over something that probably was not, intended. Nobody intends to get it.
No one wakes up like, hey, let me just go and get all the viruses I can get today. No one goes out and do that.
Right.
So I cannot say it real quick. Like the first thing I really just want to commend to this individual is going forward and letting her know, because you got people out here that want to hold it to themselves and down the line just really get things twisted. So the fact that he respects her enough, and I'm using he and her because I'm only assuming he and her, but just for the terminology, I just highly respect that. Like that really shows how much he cares for her. And I'm sure in the back of his mind, like, look, I gave you this information, you make this decision, but I'm not gonna lie to you. So I can see, I mean, if he's going forward with that, yeah, that's a good person. And I don't want that does not define him.
Right.
Herpes does not define an individual. Like we said, you're not going out there looking for that.
Right.
So it came. I mean, even the person that gave it to him probably didn't even know they had it. I mean, we really don't know. I don't know these viewers, so I don't think that it should define him. But like you said, there's no cure. I truly believe that everything is curable. I think that God put, no, not think, I know the Creator put everything on this earth that we
Mm-hmm.
need to heal ourselves, to survive, to be sustainable. It was already out here, and all these man-made things, and I ain't gonna get too deep into that.
Right.
So I really truly believe that there are things that they can do to reverse this.
I get what you're saying. And so for our viewer out there, please know that, you know, the person that you're dating is so commendable to tell you, because
Mhm.
there are people who and not even just with herpes. I've heard of people like who've had AIDS or whatever, and they purposefully know that they have some type of disease or some type of virus, and they purposely go out and infect other people because they want other people to be infected with them.
Do they
And
know
I
that's a
just,
crime?
it
That is
is
a
a crime. It
crime.
it is a crime because, you know, you're lying, you're hurting other. It's just so much that goes into that. But what I wanted to say is, when it comes to testing, I personally feel that every single person in the Black community needs to get tested.
Hmm.
And I feel like if you're not comfortable enough with who your doctor is, find another one. I
Hmm.
recently traveled from Augusta to Charlotte to meet with a Black OBGYN who made me feel so comfortable, who made me feel amazing.
Hmm.
And because I'm gonna let y'all know, I regularly get this checked, okay? Because you have to know what's going on in your body. You have to listen to your body as well. But so everybody should get checked, especially if, you know, in this day and age, people are not using protection as they used to. People are just like, it's okay to go raw, or it's okay to just wham bam thank you man without even thinking of
How
the
many people are you
repercussions.
telling that to?
Right. Like we have to think about these things. It's not just protection is not just for preventing babies. Protection is for preventing STDs. And a lot of these STDs, especially herpes, is super common. And a lot of
Hmm.
people are asymptomatic and don't know that they have herpes because the CDC does not require people to get tested unless they have symptoms, which I think is so backwards because so many people are asymptomatic. You
It
don't know if you
is.
have it.
And it's
And
go ahead.
no, what were you saying?
No, I was about to say because I know at the health department, if I'm not mistaken, they test for just about everything except for herpes. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to go to your primary care doctor or like an urgent care or something like that specifically to get that. And I remember questioning the health department years ago. It was like, why is this not included? And it's
Right.
probably what you're saying with the CDC guidelines. It doesn't make any sense. So you're gonna test everybody for everything under the sun except for herpes, which is starting to rise. Like I wish I had the numbers, but why would you leave that out? It's like you're trying to set us up.
So, in talking about herpes, we step back to look at some statistics, and I'm going to read some of them to you. It says the CDC estimated that there were 572,000 new herpes cases within the United States this year. And I'm assuming it's talking about last year. Um, and it's also saying that the infection, the HSV2, the herpes simplex virus 2, which is below the waist,
Yeah,
like
below the waist.
it's more common among women, which we can understand why, just in the transmittal of sex, than men. And women within the 2015-2016 timeframe had 16% of those women had the virus versus 8% of the men who had the
Mm-hmm.
HSV2 virus. It also goes on to say that the HSV2 infection is more common among non-Hispanic Blacks, which have 35% versus 8% of whites that have herpes. And it's talking about this disparities and all of that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's always the disparities, and we know that very well.
Right. And to really think about this, because we're pinpointing this back to the Black community, because our viewer is Black and their spouse is Black. First of all, I don't always listen to the CDC.
You can't.
Let's just put that out there. Because the CDC will lie about their numbers. They will lie about their numbers to make it seem like there's a society or a race that is higher on the pedestal than the other. And when you look at these numbers, there is no way on God's green earth that only 8% of white people have had herpes versus 35% of Blacks.
Those are the ones that are documented. Well, I shouldn't say documented, but recorded. Actually go out and, they out there.
Because again, most people who have herpes are asymptomatic. They don't know that they have herpes. They don't know that they have any type of STD. And so for the whites or Hispanics or whomever else, 10 times out of 10, they're either covering it up, not documenting it, paying somebody off, or whatever it is at the door, or just not going to the doctor. Period. And they're just transmitting it left and right. Because let me tell y'all, quick, fast, and in a hurry, I grew up with white people. Okay. When we moved to a predominantly white neighborhood. I say it to say, I know what they be doing.
You said it in a nice way. You should say they nasty. I mean, let me not say just they. There's some nasty folks out here, but we know what we see. I say that.
And it wasn't until recently that Black people have become more in tune with their sexuality and being more like, oh, forget this, forget that. It used to be that the nasty people were the white girls or the white boys or whatever. And Black women had like a certain class because one, we had our grandmothers or our mothers about to beat us over the head saying, you ain't bringing no baby back in this house. Okay. And it was, that stigma with that. And in white society, it didn't matter if you had sex. They was giving their kids condoms at 14.
It was out there.
Right. Out there. And so for the CDC to say that, and also tell people that we don't think that you should get tested. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the CDC does not require, when you go to get your annual, it's not a requirement. It's not in that list of STD flush.
It's not a priority.
It's not. And they say the only time you need to get tested for herpes is if you feel like you have symptoms. If you show symptoms, then you need to get tested. But they will not test you if you do not have symptoms. So there are so many people probably walking around left and right with this virus. And so that brings us back to our viewer. Honestly, I don't feel that their spouse knew.
It can lie dormant in your body. Like it's just lying there. And how would you know?
And so much left and right, we're giving our partners oral sex that, we don't know if our partner has anything. They're not showing these signs. And, with oral sex, you're not using protection, let alone using protection via vaginal or penetration and stuff like that. So to get back on the topic, what would you do in this situation? Situation?
Like I said, because I'm different. We're different. We not about to just go up to Dr. Who and just say, yes, sir, give me the meds. Nah, I truly believe in what Dr. Sebi says, that there's only one disease, and that's mucus. And that's something that, you can eliminate out of your body any and everything that goes in can come out. That's how I feel. And so if that was something that I had to face with a partner, oh, we about to sit down and get something going, like literally dedicate
action.
Yes, get a plan of action. Like, I'm not gonna sit around boo-hoo cry. Oh, my life is over. My life is nowhere near over, baby. I'm not about to just let this I'm not gonna say take me out, because I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to let it define me. I'm not going to let it control my life. I'm not going to let it worry me. I would go and when you get a chance, remind me of that book we were discussing, that Dr. Sebi. I mean, he literally, it's a whole guide out here on how to eliminate any and everything.
Yeah.
And to prevent things from coming into our bodies. We can fight this stuff off. There are things out here on God's green earth that we're supposed to use for medicinal reasons. So no, I ain't playing with that. We're gonna sit down and dedicate ourselves, and that is discipline. Because that diet that Dr. Sebi tells you to go on, it's a extremely strict diet. But do you want to have a healthy life, or do you want to live in this disease or dis-ease? A good friend of mine, she'll healthy. If you break down healthy, it's heal, die. And if you break down disease, it's dis-ease. They're literally telling us we can heal ourselves, or we can just be in discomfort. Right. What do you want? Truly, it's easy.
Do you want to eat this food because it tastes good, or do you want to eat something that will benefit you?
I would dedicate my life to get this out of my body. And now I can't say, well, I think we talked about there, well, how long would you do this? I would probably go get tested about every 3 months or so. And I would get multiple tests. I get different opinions to kind of get some different lab work done and see what my results are. See, can y'all give me a number or something I can work with? Am I making progress? Like I said, I truly believe that we can heal ourselves. And people want to put down Dr. Sebi and doubt his abilities. It's all been documented. It's out there. I'm sorry that CNN's not reporting it, or Fox News or NBC or whatever fake news you want to watch, but it's out there. It's real. Yeah. So, no for answer.
I'm honestly thinking, what would I do in this situation? And to be quite honest, I would probably still stay with this person and, like you said, stick it out, because having an infection, again, does not define you. You can have an infection of sickle cell. You could an infection could be with COVID. It could be whatever it is. Right, that's a different topic. But there's so many different infections that come throughout your life that can be transmitted through air. Okay. And for me to say that I am going to turn down somebody who could be potentially my lifelong partner, my soulmate, my twin flame, because they either made a mistake as they were young, or whenever we've all made plenty of mistakes on our journey of sex. Okay, we're grown here. We've all made mistakes, right?
That's me. So, I have made plenty. So let's go.
We have knocked people off our list because they weren't even worth it. Okay, so we've either made mistakes or we've had mistakes made upon us. You know, and when I say mistakes made upon us, I've been in a relationship where somebody has stepped all the way out, left, right, up, down, all the way around. And you never even know with that. You could be in a committed relationship with somebody. You're committed to this person,
but they ain't committed to you.
Right, they're not committed to you. And so you're thinking everything is copacetic. We could be, we don't have to use protection. We've been together for 4 years, or we see ourselves getting married. And this person all the while is stepping out on you. And you don't know if they're protecting themselves and what they're bringing back to you, because there are plenty of marriages that people come back and they're like, well, we've been married for 20 years. How all of a sudden do I have an STD? And because, sometimes somebody can step out. Sometimes, like you said, it could be dormant in your body. So I don't feel like I would shun this person or say, hey, I can't be with you anymore. And I haven't been in the situation to really say what I would say, but I'm just speaking from right now. I wouldn't want somebody to judge me because I made a mistake on my path in life. We all make mistakes. And I also feel like an STD is something that, granted, is bad, but I feel like it's something that it can be removed from your body. If you will that thing to be out your body and you will yourself to be healthy and whole, it's nothing that you can do. It's nothing that that disease or this man-made infection can say to me, because I speak over my body, you know? And so for anybody that has it, like I just feel like, or anybody that has any type of disease, you speak life, you speak health, you speak whatever it is that you want over your body.
Exactly.
So you got something that a doctor said you have. No, I don't.
Oh, you
I
said
tried
what?
that when I broke my foot, and I said it's not broke, but yeah, it was actually broke. I surely did. Like the guy came in and said, "Oh, you broke your foot," and I was laughing. I was like, "No, I didn't." He was like, "I was like, we like."
We're not talking about actual bone break, even though they do have, I wish I can remember the name of it. This little side note. There is a plant. I have to go back and figure out what it is that actually does help mending bones.
Well, let
I
me
knew
know
someone
because
that
this
was
little
growing
broken
it.
foot been hurting again lately.
I'm gonna let you know what it is. But just to come back though, I really feel like, and this is directed towards the viewer, and to anyone that's experienced this. I truly believe that if this was all done, like as far as like bringing that information to this individual was all done and like being genuine and out of love and respect, that this situation can truly be beneficial in their relationship as far as like this is something they're going to overcome and go through together. Like this really could push their relationship in a whole nother way, and especially if they commit and do something like this together. As far as like committing to the diet and to the practices and the fasting and whatnot, how strong their bond can grow, like it's beautiful. How they can be testimonies and be testaments to people that feel like that they're alone in this. And because trust me, I'm pretty sure that there are other people dealing with this same situation. Like you said, I cannot speak firsthand, but I see, I mean, just even, no, forget it. I'm going to use COVID for situation. Like, I see the people who telling me that they're getting sick, and I see the people who ain't getting sick. I see what they put into their bodies. I see what they're more susceptible to getting. It's all about how you take care of yourself. I'm a firm believer in that. You are what you eat. Like you either, and that's not even that. That's with smoking and drinking, and like it's so much. But you are what you eat, as they say.
Yeah.
You want to
You either eat to live or you live to eat.
I want to be healthy. I want to eat to live. I don't want to eat to just think that I've been fulfilled. No, like I want to feel that vitality in my body. Like I want to feel like just amazing. Like, yeah, there's some really good foods out here. Like, don't be thinking that these plant-based diets and stuff is boring.
It'd be good. I'm sorry, that was a side note.
I got get on pictures on YouTube. Y'all learn some things. But seriously though, I don't think that this should be the end all be all. I honestly don't. Like my spirit tells me that they can overcome this. I don't know how long it would take. I would highly recommend researching Dr. Sebi. And a lot of this stuff you can put together yourself. A lot of people think that eating healthy is expensive. It's really not if you, and I'm not talking about the store Whole Foods. I'm speaking of like buying like the whole food, like and creating the meals yourself.
Right.
Going to buy something out of convenience that's already prepared for you. No, I'm talking about you getting all the necessary ingredients and preparing it yourself. It's not as bad as it sounds, and it's fun doing it. Like, I think this couple should take this experience and look at, like, it's always a beauty. Like, things are blessings in disguises all the time. Like, have fun with it. Like, compete with each other. Like, who's gonna make the best meal for this? Like, there's literally
Right.
a list of ingredients to really stick to with this said diet. Because I really think this conversation needs to happen more.
Yes.
I know people in these situations, unfortunately, and I really shouldn't say unfortunately because it's hope. It truly is, but
Yeah.
you have to be disciplined. You have to dedicate yourself. It's not gonna happen overnight. Versus you're gonna go in and take these pills that they say is never gonna like really cure you. It's treatable, but now you gotta worry about these side effects and the things that come with that, and then you gotta take some for the side effects of that and the side effects of that. You don't
Right.
know how your body is gonna react to these certain medications. I think you have a better chance with picking something from the earth
Right.
versus the man just hand it over to you. That
Right.
is my opinion. I think it's a
And
beautiful thing you're gonna go through.
I was talking to our viewer about that. I said, well, I know Dr. Sebi has um information to cure AIDS and HIV. So I said, I'm pretty sure that he also has something for herpes. And you and I, we looked it up, and he does. So for anybody that's watching, there's books on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, whatever. And if you type in Dr. Sebi cure for herpes, it pops up. You can purchase it. It does not look like a long read. It looks like a fairly small book. Uh, and just get that book and follow those steps. So or any disease, STD or sexually transmitted disease, whatever it is, I feel like you do your due diligence, figure out what you can do that is from the earth prior to just taking whatever it is that your doctor gave you and running with it. As my dad used to tell me, don't just take what somebody said to you as for face value. Do your own research. Get your own
Exactly.
understanding. When you get your own understanding, then make your decision. Because a lot of times we skip everything. We just want somebody to tell us something. We make our decision, and
You
that
run with it.
right. We don't know why we're making that decision. We don't know why we said, "Oh, we want to do this versus this." We're just doing it because somebody told us. And
Mhm.
I feel like for all of our viewers, not just that particular viewer, anything that comes your way or comes into your life, you have to weigh the pros and cons. There are pros and cons to everything. And with being in a relationship, as people always say, there's all this fish in the sea. Half this fish is dead.
Mhm.
And by dead, I'm not meaning physically dead.
Like
Spiritually,
mentally, spiritually,
emotionally,
yeah.
their soul is dead.
Walking
Um,
Dead.
right. Communication sucks. It's so much that is wrong with all this fish in the sea that if you got that one fish, it's great. But they just
Don't let
have
the
one
devil
thing that's
come and take this away from you. He tried, but he didn't succeed. No, ma'am.
right. And be able to work through it because every relationship has problems. Some problems far greater than others.
Mhm.
This probably for some people will be far greater than others. And I wonder if, yeah, you know how our men be. I feel like with females, it's more acceptable for us to accept a man for their shortcomings or accept them for the things that they bring to the table. But if it was a flip switch, role reversal, and say she said, "Hey, I have this disease," and I'm saying she, not talking about my viewers at all, but I'm just saying she in the plural sense, not plural sense, but the vague sense.
Yeah, just overall,
Right. If she
overall
came back and
statement.
said, "I have a disease, a STD," I feel like he would leave. I feel like the men would leave. And I've seen this happen the same as when it comes to cheating. Like, if a man cheats, the woman is supposed to accept him for his flaws, accept him for everything. But if she cheats, he out the door. She's the devil. She's the scum of the earth. And there's a double standard for everything when it comes to men and women. And I hate that because, I want more, as you said, I want more people to be able to have these discussions and feel comfortable enough to have this discussion. So, side note, thank you to our viewer who felt comfortable enough to hear our opinion. Like, I just felt like,
yeah, we're honored. We're truly honored.
we are. Like, you really like.
Have always wanted to talk more about. I mean, it's like specialists as doulas, and we work with people in their womb. So
Yeah. That was gonna be my next. I was gonna bring up something about
more than just being birth doulas, like really just that overall healing of the womb, which is really crazy. I made like 3 posts about this yesterday, and this is all about healing. So yeah, I'm very passionate about advocating for womb health, and I mean I ain't forgetting about the men, but primarily I advocate for womb health. And I know that it can be achieved. Okay? I'm not doubting none of these women.
Right.
You just have to be patient with yourself.
And trust yourself and trust your body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's crazy that you bring up doula. I was going to bring that up. With us being doulas, we know that a good portion of the time, when you're doing these vaginal births, they ask you, do you have genital herpes? Because it is detrimental to your child if you vaginally have this baby with genital, right? In my head, I'm thinking, okay, so is this another ruse to get people to have a C-section? Is this really something that is detrimental to our child? Like, it is detrimental to your baby. A lot of that's why your womb has to be healthy to vaginally deliver, because we don't want to transmit anything to our child. But in thinking this, I'm thinking, what would you tell somebody in this situation? Like, say for instance, you had a client. Let's say for instance you have a client and she tells you, I want to have a water birth, but I have herpes.
And so I've had this discussion with someone before, actually, and they were told that only if they had an outbreak that they would have to go forward and have a C-section. But if someone told me that they had it and they wanted to go for it and go into labor, knowing that they have this said disease, and I really don't even want to say that, but this said
infection.
I don't want to say that.
No.
This said, we call it this said. I would promote that healthy living, that healthy eating, because a lot of times these outbreaks are caused by stressors. And you already know within our work, that is something that we reduce.
Say a lot for the people in the back.
These stressors, bro.
Right.
Look, me and Empress, we're healers, okay? So within our work, we're not over here trying to create stressors. We're trying to eliminate stressors so they can have this beautiful outcome for their birth. So in my head, I was like, you tell me it's cool. Thanks for letting me know. But we ain't about to even have that problem, because I'm going to check in on you. I'm going to make sure, like,
right.
Sure, we can do some recipes together. And you right. Eat, okay? And so, no, because we want to eliminate that stress so they can not
have a healthy delivery, healthy baby.
Those type of instances happen to them. Like, no. So don't allow these doctors to tell you what you cannot do, because they're not going to tell you the full story. They're not going to give you the whole truth.
And won't. I'm crossing my leg on that. Crossing my whole leg on that. And also I brought that up is because when we think about staying with our significant other, if they have something, we want you, in order to have a baby naturally, you have to have unprotected sex. So in thinking like, okay, I want to be with this person, they have this thing that will be removed from their body, speaking into existence. And they have this, but I know later down the line, I want to have children. I want to be able to, if me and my husband or me and my wife have been stressed lately, we got the kids, we want to go out on the weekend one night, just act like we grown, act like, role play. We don't want to have to worry about, a lot of married people don't even use condoms.
Mhm.
And crazy enough, that's where these sexually transmitted diseases are crossing is married couples.
Yeah, it's very true. It's out there. I ain't gonna
Straight my
say it.
glasses on that if y'all catch my drift.
Yeah, we
Right.
gonna have our tea next time, yeah, because
Right, I'm gonna sit. It's tea with Empress. Yeah, I've been drinking the tea before the show starts.
Right, I finished mine too. I'm like,
Y'all literally, we have a whole heap of stuff playing. Like we were doing a whole bunch of stuff before we even hit record.
The bloopers are coming, okay?
Right. Back to, will you stay with a particular person if they have a disease or not? And we have talked a lot tonight about herpes, just because that's what our viewer spouse is experiencing right now. And I'm saying experiencing because with an experience, that experiencing can go. And this experience will go. I don't want to say suffer from because, certain words, we have to watch our words. So
our words are so powerful.
They're very powerful. The experience in which they are dealing with right now is herpes. And they say, and I could be wrong, I'm not a medical professional. I am a birth doula, but that is nothing, contrary to what people believe, it's not medical. It's not a medical.
You're a non-medical support.
Right. So when it comes to herpes, it is my opinion and the research that I have done is that unless you are having an outbreak of blisters or cold sores, I think the cold sores are up top. And if you're not having those outbreaks, then you won't transmit the disease to other people.
Yeah, so, and that is something that they normally say. It's not to say that you cannot transmit it when you're sexually active and you're not having an outbreak. It's just a lower percentage of a chance that you'll transmit it. Now, when it was outbreak, yeah, like you all, I mean, bro, for one, you not see that. That's all. Because herpes simplex virus 1, as I say, is above the waist. So that's when you see the cold sores. Like, yes, y'all, them cold sores are a form of herpes. And then the herpes simplex virus 2 is below the waist within the genital area. And you can even cross over oral sex if you have HSV1 and you perform oral sex, you can give HSV1 in below the waist and vice versa. Like it's crazy. And sometimes you look back and be like, wait a minute, what y'all say? Like, it's interesting. Right. But I still believe, like I said, the percentages, the factoring is different. It can, whatever is high or if it's low risk, because I also believe if you're dealing with someone who has it, if you as an individual are taking care of yourself, I feel like you are reducing your chances of receiving it. I thought about if I want to bring this up, but I am, because shoot, I'm very open and this is my truth. I dealt with an individual for a period of time, and literally right when we decided to go separate ways, maybe not even a month later, they called me and they told me they had herpes. When I tell you, I immediately went to the doctor. Because I'm not even going to get too deep in the story, because they actually thought that I gave it to them.
Oh my.
It like he was trying to be so sweet about it, because we were actually friends for years prior to this. And so he really tried to be so sweet about it, because apparently we were I was the only one he was dealing with.
Oh, okay.
Anywho,
cool. Right.
I went and got tested. I'm over here freaking out, like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't know I had it. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Got my results back. I almost cussed that man out. And he was like, I mean, he's still like, I just don't know. Like,
Cause you never know.
I don't know. And I'm just like, you know what? I'll do it. I get tested again. Child, I got tested by 4 different doctors in like a week. And they all came back negative. And this was years ago. And I get tested on a regular basis. So I've been good all these years.
Yeah.
I'm over here thinking to myself, for one, you accuse me of something I never had. Never had. And do not currently have. And second, I'm just like, well, shoot, it's like I know I'm very conscious of what I put into my body. Don't get me wrong, I have my days when I kind of fall off and I feel the difference. So I'm like, let me get back to my way of eating. I truly feel like my lifestyle, like as far as what I put into my body, what I eat, if he did have it while we were together, either he just had that low percentage of giving it to me, or my body's, oh, I don't know.
Right.
We ain't that today. Like, I don't know. But I know I never received it, and we did engage. So it's not a in and out, like, yep, you got it. Yeah, it's not. But I truly do believe it's how you take care of yourself. And I'm not telling everybody to go out there and like just be reckless. No, like it's like still be careful. And honestly, and this is another topic we're gonna talk about anyways when it comes to premarital sex. Like if you know you're with someone and you're not 100% committed until you actually commit yourself.
Right.
You might have different views on that as well. Cause shoot, we just talked about married couples who still step out, but even before you know you want to make this true commitment to somebody, make it a date. Go get tested. It ain't sexy, but hey, it's safe.
Right.
Go get together. Actually know what you're getting yourself into. Hold each other accountable. Even if y'all have been dating for 3 months and y'all got tested the first month, go get tested again in 3 months. They say HIV takes up to 6 months to a year, so just keep getting tested for up to a year. You know, make it fun.
And constantly
do it together.
Right. And have like a little cute date night when your results come in. And now they're having they have, and I'll say this with the doctor that I just went to, they have it where on your you have like a my chart or whatever. They have it where your results come in. When it comes straight to you. So it doesn't go to the doctor first. It comes straight to you. So you see it beforehand. So you can look at it and y'all can, it'll send you like mine sent me a little email, said, hey, here are your results, everything good. It's like,
thank you.
Right. But and we're joking, I'm saying thank you like this, not to down anybody who does have anything or has had anything. And so I don't want anybody to think that we are downing you or we're joking.
Not at all.
Or making you feel less than that you have, because again, it's probably not even your fault. It's probably not something that you went out and said, you know what, God, today I think I want to get an STD. You didn't say that. And God, I'm joking, so I'm putting that in reverse. I ain't saying that. Because again, we speak life, so I need to retract that. But you know, it's not anything that you go out and you wish upon a star. You're not manifesting that on a full moon. You're not writing that down in your notebook, because nobody wants this.
No.
Nobody wants to have this type of infection. And I think about it because, and this is just a random thought, but years ago, how many of these STDs were out there?
Ask that again, because
I'm just confused, because people were having sex and where these STDs came from.
No one ever had these issues before. And some would say, well, we didn't have the technology to detect it then. people weren't sick. People didn't talk about being sick like that. Like, I don't care what no one say. Like, I ain't heard it in the records. I ain't hear it in our lecture. No. And I'm talking about, when I'm talking about lectures, I ain't talking about in class. I'm talking about the radical people on the streets that out here giving you the truth that they ain't about to tell you in the classroom.
Right.
Like, that our history just does not reflect it. But yet this country just seems to be coming up with diseases left and right.
Right.
I'm always gonna come back to the food when we put into our bodies and how you take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm perfect at doing that. I'm not even full-fledged plant-based person. At least I can say I don't eat meat anymore. But even then, I'm not downing people who eat what they want. I mean, just do stuff in moderation. Just tell me how you feel in between. Like, commit to certain things and just see how you feel. And you're gonna make that decision for yourself. I can tell you what works for me, and being conscious of my diet works tremendously for me. Like, health wise, I'm straight.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying this like to brag or anything, but I take full control of my health. Like, I don't play that.
Right.
Because I know that we are our doctors. Like, we can be our own doctors. We can literally heal ourselves.
Thank you guys for watching. We really hope that you have learned something, that you've enjoyed it. And to our viewer, we really hope that we have answered your question and that we made you feel a little bit more comfortable about what you should do next and your next steps. Now, we will see you guys next time. Again, if you guys have any topics you want us to talk about, please DM us. Our IG handles will be below, or follow us. Like us on Facebook. We have a Facebook. So find us on there, talk to us on there, and we would love to hear from you. If this video helped you, let us know in the comments.
Like, comment, and share.
Yes. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.